Hi, Lions. Thanks for joining me for the second part of our lesson. We're going to get started with learning some sight words, and then we'll practice spelling, and then we will read a story that has all the sounds and sight words that we've learned. Okay, let's get started. The first sight word I want to introduce you to is because. Because. Let's spell it. B-E-C-A-U-S-E. Because. Good job. Now, the second two words I'm going to introduce you to are special words because they are called contractions. A contraction is making something smaller. So if we're talking about words, they're special words where the word becomes smaller. So they're called contractions. The first contraction I want to introduce you to is the word won't. I won't do it. And what won't means is will not. So won't is a contraction for this word because it's a smaller, shorter way of saying something. And if you notice, in the words won't, we get rid of several letters. So that's why we have the apostrophe. The apostrophe there is to show that some letters are missing. So won't is a shorter way of saying will not. It means the same thing. And because it's a shorter way of saying it, it is a contraction, a special type of word. So let's read it. Won't. Let's spell it. W-O-N''T, won't. When we spell contractions, we want to say the apostrophe. That way we remember to include the apostrophe when we're spelling won't. We won't forget that. Okay, the second contraction I want to introduce you to is the word don't. Don't you dare do that. I say that quite a few times in my house each day, especially to my doggies. So don't is a shorter way of saying do not. Do not and don't mean the same thing. This is just a shorter way of saying it. And that's why it is a contraction, because a contraction is just making something shorter. Okay. Don't. Let's spell it. D-O-N''T, don't. And it means do not. This means will not, won't, don't. Okay, let's review some of our other sight words. These we will read, spell, read. So I need to hear you reading and hear you spelling. Here we go. Once, O-N-C-E, once. We'll settle this once and for all. Both. B-O-T-H, both. Father, F-A-T-H-E-R, father. Who, W-H-O, who. Great, G-R-E-A-T, great. Today, T-O-D-A-Y, today. Work, W-O-R-K, work. Word, W-O-R-D, word. I want you to look at the words word and work. They look the same. It's just the ending letter is different. So if you're having trouble remembering how to spell one of these words, just remember it. Work looks like word, but it has a different letter at the ending. This is also why it's important, students, when you're reading words, you look at all the letters, the ending sounds. Sometimes when we read, we just look at the first few letters, but it's important we look at the last letter as well. Water, W-A-T-E-R, water. Many, M-A-N-Y, many. Says, S-A-Y-S, says. Large, L-A-R-G-E, large. Friend, F-R-I-E-N-D, friend. Remember I told you this, how I remembered to spell this growing up? I would always remember Friday. So this looks like Friday is at the end of the week, and it is my friend because I always enjoy Fridays. Like, L-I-K-E, like. Call, C-A-L-L, call. From, F-R-O-M, from. Way, W-A-Y, way. Down, D-O-W-N, down. Play, P-L-A-Y, play. Was, W-A-S, was. Move, M-O-V-E, move. Any, A-N-Y, any. Ball, B-A-L-L, ball. Done, D-O-N-E, done. Whew, they are sticking together. Ready, R-E-A-D-Y, ready. And one way I always remember this word is it has the word read in it. And Mrs. Olson and Mrs. Bickford would appreciate this. I am always ready to read. So that's one way you can remember how to spell this word. Live, L-I-V-E, live. The second way to read this is live, L-I-V-E, live. So if you're not sure which, if it's live or live, you read the sentence it's in and you see which one makes sense. Okay, read with me. Find. Spell. F-I-N-D. Find. Okay, read, spell, read. The last word with me. After. A-F-T-E-R. After. So this has our R-controlled vowel in it. After. Okay, we are going to do some spelling now. So if you do not have paper and pencil, go ahead and pause the device and we'll go ahead and get started. So the first word is hurt. I hope you do not get hurt. Let's sound it. Hurt. Hurt. Okay, let's go ahead and spell it. I hear the the R-controlled vowel in there. And in this word, it is the U-R, how you spell in this word. Hurt. Hurt. Now, I want to show you, if I were to add the ing suffix to this, remember, so it's not a long vowel sound, and I don't need to double anything because there's already two consonants. So I would just add ing to make it hurting. Okay, fern. A fern is a type of green leafy plant you'll see often in the woods. Fern. Let's sound it. Fern. Fern. Okay, go ahead and spell. I hear and in this word, it is the ER spelling for So fern, fern, fern. Okay, the next word we're going to spell is firm. You want to make sure your apples are firm. Let's sound it. Firm. Now let's go ahead and spell. And in this case, it's the IR that's making the sound. Firm. And if you're ever not sure, just try the other two ways to make the sound and see which one looks right. Firm. Okay, spot. There is a spot on the carpet. Spot. 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 Go ahead and spell spot. 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 This is a closed syllable because it's a short O. It says ah, and the reason why it's closed is because the T, which is a consonant, is after the vowel. Now, if we were to make this spotted, like a spotted cat, before we add the id, the past tense suffix, I spotted a cat in the road, we would have to double the consonant. Whenever you have a short vowel sound, remember you have to double the consonant if there's only one consonant before the suffix. So to turn spot into spotted, I have to double the T, and then I would add the id past tense suffix, spotted. So in the base word, there's only one T, but you double it before adding the suffix. Okay? The next word is jerk. We had to jerk on the leash to get the dog back. Let's sound it. Jerk. Jerk. Go ahead and spell jerk. I'm not talking about the mean word jerk. I'm talking about pulling or tugging on something. And in this word, it is the ER spelling to spell jerk. And here's how you spell it. Sounds like my family's home from fishing. Jerk. Okay, and the next word is one of our sight words, and it is find. Spell it with me. F-I-N-D, find. Let's spell it together. And say the letters as you're spelling. F-I-N-D, find. And the last word we're going to spell is after. After, spell A-F-T-E-R, after. All right, as we spell this word, say the letters out loud. That way you see it, hear it, and you feel it while you write it. After. A-F-T-E-R, after. After. Okay, guys, the last thing we're going to do is read our story together. Remember, our stories are controlled stories, which means they only have the sounds and that we've learned and the sight words that we've learned. So it will be a good idea for you to pause this. Hold on, buddy, I'm taping a lesson. It's a good idea to pause this so you can practice reading this at your own pace the first time before we read together. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. The Firefighters. Chapter 1, the fire bell rings. Boy, we love our firefighters. We have a lot of firefighters in our community, and they definitely help us. Okay, let's read. Rose was a firefighter. In that job, you have to be ready all the time. When a call for help comes in, you have to move fast. One time, the fire bell rang when Rose and the other firefighters were eating lunch. They had to leave their lunch. Rose pulled on her turnouts. Turnouts are thick clothes with wide stripes that shine in the dark. Her turnouts and hard hat keep her safe from fire, heat, and falling sparks. Rose got a printout telling her where the fire was. She ran to the truck, got in, and started the truck. Something I want to show you, readers, a lot of times when there's new vocabulary in a story, there are what are called context clues. In other words, the sentences around that word that help define what the word is. So for some people, the word turnouts might be a new word. But then the very next sentence, it describes what they are. Turnouts are thick clothes with wide stripes that shine in the dark. Okay? So authors do that a lot. When they use a new word that they think might be a new word for the audience, the people reading, they describe what that word is. So readers, good readers, not only can read each word, but they understand what they're reading as well. Okay, let's keep reading. This is a good time to push pause so you can practice reading on your own pace before we continue reading together. Her friends were running to the other trucks. The ladder truck is so long that two people must drive, one in the front cab and one in the back cab. Vic drove in the front. Lee sat in the back cab. He steered by turning the rear wheels. I never knew that. Rose drove fast, but she watched the streets. When cars hear the fire trucks and see them flashing, they must move to the side while the fire trucks pass. Rose was asking herself, what will this fire be like? Far off, she saw black smoke. As they got near, she saw the red flames rising. So we are so thankful for our firefighters and our other community helpers that keep us safe. All right, Lions, thanks for joining me for this lesson, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great